Hello, everybody. Let me slightly adjust myself before we begin. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live stream. I thought I would actually start painting some of those Shadow Collective miniatures that we've been building over the last couple of hobby streams. And I hope that sounds cool to you guys, because that's my plan. I have 3 in particular today that I already have prepped, because while I did get some more of these models actually built up, I have not gotten a lot of them primed yet. So today these are the 3 that we're going to be potentially working on. And I figured that I would give you guys potentially the choice, or at least see if anybody in chat had some suggestions of which one you want to see painted first. I have some ideas of what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to keep them pretty close to their box art. But I figured we could paint any one of these 3. Now, technically, these 2 are from the same Black Suns, I believe, faction. This is like I don't remember his name specifically, but I think it's one of like the commanders. And then this is just one of the standard soldiers. And then this is a fun little pike guy, which I'm actually quite excited to paint. One of the reasons I actually picked up this set in particular is because I really, outside of just absolutely loving Darth Maul, right? Outside of absolutely just loving Darth Maul, I also really like the color scheme of these particular figures. The pikes have this really cool, like, yellow-green flesh tone, because they're amphibious creatures. And I have some ideas of what I'm going to be doing for that. And then for these guys, these are actually also green. And I was looking at the box art, or I guess the art on the little thing that they give me about these models. And I hadn't realized that they were this sort of nice blue-green flesh tone. Because, like, I knew the pikes had this, like, I think it's a very gorgeous, like, yellow-green color tone. But I hadn't realized the other ones were also green. So I do need to do a little bit of experimenting with you guys today if we're going to paint either of these 2. Because I don't know how I'm going to be handling their skin. I've had some ideas, and I've actually pulled some of the colors. So for the pike, I need to shake this paint up. But what I was thinking of doing is using Gut Ripper Flesh, because this is one of the new contrast colors. It's a really nice sort of pale, but, what's the word I'm looking for? Pastel, almost, color tone, as opposed to, say, Plague Bearer's Flesh, which has a much stronger vibrancy to it. Like, the yellow in that is a lot more bold, whereas in this, I think the green comes out more, and the yellow is a little bit more subdued. So it's just it's a more neutral olive color tone, right? Yeah, it's less saturated, exactly. So I really like this for the pikes, and what I'm thinking is for my Black Sun guys, and I hope I'm getting that name correct. I think they're the Black Sun. I'm thinking of using this still potentially as the base coat, but treating them very similarly to how I do my Poxwalkers, and then ending up layering over top a different green color tone or something that has a little bit more blue in it to bring that color out. But I think that might match what I'm seeing. So I pulled a couple different things. I have Croak Green, which I think is going to be 2 like army green color tones, so honestly I think it'll be out. I have Poxwalker Green, which again, I really need to shake before we actually use it, but it's a little bit more, like, it actually looks more blue, which I was kind of surprised to see. I would have thought Poxwalkers would have leaned more into that yellow-green territory, but maybe it's because they have Mortarian Grime, which already does that, so they were trying to go with, like, a little bit of a darker green or something like that. But regardless, I have a couple other greens to possibly choose from. I even pulled, Eldari Emerald, which I think also has a little bit more of a blue tint to it. So let's go ahead and we will get to painting. Let me know. I see that chat's there, but I haven't seen anybody say anything yet. So I'm, oh, well then I'm not seeing chat. It looks like it is. Like, I can see my
Yeah. Okay, well, you just, they're there. They're there. You just can't see it, so give me a second.
Absolutely.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, what I will do is I'll bring them up on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not.
Fascinating. Hello, everybody. I do, in fact, see that you all are there. I don't know why it's not showing up on my end, but it doesn't seem to be, which is sort of odd. But I have you guys open on my phone, so I'll still be able to keep up with you. Now, let's see. Are we doing this all in contrast? Yes, Robert. I do believe that I'm going to be doing this all in contrast paint today, or at least predominantly, mostly because that's what I have available. I do have some base color tones, and for example, I do think...
Sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. I do think Auric Flesh could possibly be a good base color for both of the Pike as well as the Black Sun's flesh tones, but I think I want to do... I really like doing my transparency layering with contrast colors, so that's what I'm going to be working on. I do think I'm leaning towards the option for what I do with my orcs. So before we actually get started on the figures themselves, I grabbed one of my like Space Marine characters. Which ones are the ones with the pokey stuff at the top? Is it infiltrators or... Yeah, I really don't like these models in my like games because I find I knock these little antenna things off all the time. So I ended up using a lot of them as my test models. And this guy has a little bit of space still, so I'm gonna get some of these paints shooken up so that they are mixed properly. And I want to layer a whole bunch of him up using my Gut Ripper Flesh contrast color. And after that has had a little bit of time to dry, I'm gonna layer over top some of these other shades and contrast colors that I want to see, and we'll figure out which one actually works best for the flesh tone. And I don't know, I thought this would be a fun thing for us to do today, because honestly, I don't feel like I show you the like behind the scenes process of some of the testing and everything that I do when I go into like my painting tutorials, because I'm trying to keep those a little bit more concise and about the actual model itself. But this is kind of what I do, is I like sit down and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. Let's figure out what I need to do. And then I end up doing a lot of testing. So just kind of wanted to show you guys that process today as we worked on these models. Yeah, I think the Black Sun's leader would be cool because he's got not only like, I really like the Pike guy, but I know for a fact, that this man is wearing purple robes and has a lot of yellow trim and everything, and I do kind of want to paint using those colors. So I do think I am going to agree with you, William, and we'll go with the Black Sun's leader for our character that we're painting today, which definitely means we need to do this testing. And look how much effort it takes to get these things mixed together. Like, this still is not fully mixed together because of the pigmentation in this particular paint, and some of these ones really just separate a lot. It just takes forever. But that's okay. You guys can just sit here and watch my hand fly into screen every now and then as I wildly shake the paint. Is it good ASMR audio for you? Like, put it really close to the microphone. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I do have little balls in here to make it work a little bit easier. All right, so I think this is mixed up enough. I'm gonna grab a brush and we will go ahead and we'll get some paint on this. By this, I mean our palette. And then we'll put it onto not any of our actual Star Wars models. I'm going to move them out of the way so they don't accidentally grab them and try to just start putting paint on them immediately. But what I'm going to do is... Where's a good place to test this? You know what? He's just going to be green-faced. Yeah, because like this, I think is going to end up working absolutely perfectly for the Pike. Like, this is pretty much what I feel like their flesh tone already looks like. And frankly, I think it's a gorgeous color. Like I need to bring this into honestly my orcs, which makes sense because it is a literal orc flesh. Who would have thought? But I want to bring it into the orcs as well as honestly my poxwalkers. I think this is a beautiful color tone. And I just want to play with it a little bit more. So we're gonna coat this. I'm not really worried about if I get this color other places, because this is literally a test model. Try to make sure we get an even, solid coating. Really let this paint settle into those recesses. Because basically what I'm looking for is I want a really nice, soft blue-green with this. And I think this is gonna give me what I'm looking for, like, or at least as the base coat. That's my hope, at least. Slightly that way. How's that? Is that a little bit better for me being centered? Audio is cool, excellent. You've tried the isn't it good? Like, I really, Michael, I just read your comment about that you tried the orc flesh tone that I use on some of your Blood Bowl models. First of all, yes, love Blood Bowl, such a good game. Also, I agree with you. It turns out so good. Like, it's just such a nice, it gives you such lovely highlights and midtones and shadows very easily, and frankly, that is what I love about it, because I'm one of those people that I really want painting to be kind of as, like, fast and seamless as possible. Like, as much as I love painting, I have so much I want to paint that I want to get through it as quickly as possible, and so contrast just really makes that easy in some of these steps. Although I will admit that the Mantis Warrior Green also saves some steps if you have not tried that one. Like, I don't know if you tried my Plague Bearer Flesh with BL Ton over top of it, or if you did the Mantis Warrior Green just straight out of the pot, but either way, they're both great, they're both fast, and I love the results. They're so good. Oh no, Robert, you're a little salty on painting right now. Let's see, you based all your Necrons yesterday, and you went to your friendly local game store to get some Leadbelcher paint, and they were completely out. Oh no, I hate when that happens. You're like, okay, I'm finally gonna sit down at the hobby desk, and we're gonna go through this, and we're gonna do our project, and now all the supplies that I need are gone. I went to my store, and they have nothing for me. That is a little bit of a pain. I completely understand that frustration. Wow, I realized we did not paint the back of his head at all. Let's take care of that a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect, but the more that I put this color down, the more I will have to be able to cover and do some testing. So I'm really, that's why I'm being a little particular about where this is going and what its finish is looking like. All right, that's feeling good. So it just needs to dry. And in the meantime, we'll keep chatting a little bit while it's doing that. Yes, David, don't worry. I have a vortex mixer, actually. So my one problem, I need to find a place where I can put it, where it's not going to absolutely just vibrate my table so much that my camera goes wild. Because I've used it before while filming. It was not during a live stream, actually. It was during just recording, but I, like, record and live stream from the same location. So I was using it, I went ahead and had it on. I realized I hadn't mixed my paint fully, and thankfully I wasn't, like, recording or anything at the time, but because I had the camera facing down and I was doing this, like, and I still had something there, my camera just went wild. It just, like, shook so hard that it just was trying to switch orientation. Like, it was going from vertical orientation to horizontal orientation because it couldn't identify what angle I was at because it's looking down at my desk. And had no, like, way of really identifying, like, what angle it was looking at. So it just went wild. And so I need to find a solution that ends up putting it on my, like, nearby so that I can reach it when I'm streaming, especially, but does not vibrate anything. Because right now, both my desks have equipment on it that could be vibrated and just probably wouldn't look good footage-wise. So that's the only reason I haven't actually gotten or actually used mine quite yet. I'm really leaning... So a part of me, and I'd love your guys' thoughts on this, okay? A part of me wants to also, in this test that we're about to do on this little guy, I am thinking about not only trying some of the greens that I've already talked about, but also maybe achromatic blue. Because it is transparent enough, right, that I think it would settle into the recesses, giving me the deeper blue tone in the shadows, which is kind of what their flesh tone looks like. It does a little bit more. But I'm worried it's going to be too transparent. I think I'm going to try it anyways. I've not tried... Okay, you did try... So, Michael, you were saying you have not tried the Plague Bearer Flesh with the BL Ton. You went with the, oh. Oh, no, you said you did try it. Sorry, I misread that. You did try the Plague Bearer Flesh with Beoton. Oh my god, isn't it good? Like, I love how just apple green it ends up getting. I wish I could use it on him, actually. I really feel maybe I should just do Beoton. Maybe that will have enough blue in it. So the reason that works so well is because Plague Bearer's Flesh has so much yellow in it that it ends up turning it this really lovely green tone. And I'm worried when I do this test after it's dried that it's gonna be too green. Because this is almost like the color that's on here, just to point it out, like what I'm going for. You guys can see that. It's almost a mint green. Like it's almost a little bit of a mint that leans slightly blue in my opinion. Versus, because like that's the figure we're gonna paint. Versus what the pike have, which is definitely more of like a yellow green. Now I'm debating. I think Eldari might be the better way to go. We're gonna just use. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. That's where I actually have mine. It's just a little farther away than I want to lean over right now. Because mine is, you know what, fine. I will bring it closer. I now have it on the floor. It's like, you guys see it down there? Yeah, it's on the floor right there. Which just tickles me so much. There we go. Lovely. So now I have it so I can use it. I think I'm gonna start with, I really want this. Hello. I'm gonna use my vortex mixer real quick to take up my Poxwalker because oh, look how separated and white it is. Alright, do this. Oh, part of the problem with this one, I was like, why is this taking so long even with the vortex mixer? I've not actually used this color yet, so I don't even have a mixing ball in it, which I think will probably help. So let's go ahead and get that. I just have all of my little mixing balls stored in this old spice container because I found it worked really well. Are you dry yet? Man, you take forever to dry. Sometimes contrast paint takes longer to dry than I really want it to. Alright, we did the majority of the work with the vortex mixer already. I'm going to do a little bit of handshaking just so that I'm on camera and not like leaning off awkwardly because I feel like that's maybe a little weird. But we'll go ahead and get this. Hello, Sarah Games! Welcome to the stream. Lovely to have you here. Oh yeah, no, I do highly recommend vortex mixers. I think I've talked about it in both of my videos where I cover like tools that are good for wargamers and or just things that hobbyists could use. And in both of them, I'm like, please save your guys' wrists and get yourself a vortex mixer. All right, this is looking a lot better. And this is absolutely not dry yet. What I need to do is I need to get one of those tiny, like I've seen very small handheld, like travel size blow dryers for like hair and everything, and I really want to get one so that I can use it, like have it plugged in my hobby room so that I can blow dry with the cool air setting my models so that they dry a little faster. There is one concern with that, I guess, in regards to contrast paint, now that I think about it and I've said it out loud, is it could push the paint around and leave weird pooling that maybe we don't want, but that's... Are you coming up? Are you gonna do it? You coming up? We have... He has come to say hello. He's like, oh, are you streaming? I'm going to go ahead and just interact with you now then and interrupt and put my tail in your face. Jack, you can be here until the paint is dried, and then you have to go because I am going to get some paint on these models today, and you will not stop me. even though you are very cute and you're rubbing yourself all over my desk. Oh no! Kitty! There he is. He is very, very good. He ate lunch recently, which is why he's active and wandering around, because my cats have both gotten into the habit of getting hyper, like just super hyper right after they've eaten food. Which I'm very grateful for, because they before just used to go and like sleep and do nothing. So like seeing them really, really active and like has been very great, because they're a little bit of older cats, and it makes me feel good about how their health is doing and everything by seeing them super active. Also, like, one of them just sometimes will just sit there and scream a lot, and I'm like, could you not do that part, please? I don't mind you being wild, but like, let's not scream majestically. Hello, everybody. Are you guys ready to paint? Because today, that's what we're doing. I paint dry? Is it dry yet, Jack? You know what? I think it's dry enough. Yeah, I think it's dry enough. Let's start doing some testing. You just don't lean forward, okay, bud? Don't lean forward. All right, we've got our Poxwalker. Oh, that does look good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get this going. What I'm gonna do is face entirely in the Poxwalker green, and then I'm gonna do a test of the slightly more blue tone on his torso. But I will 100% admit that I think this is already doing what I want it to do. May have gone a little heavy there. But I am really, really liking what this is doing immediately. It's kind of exactly what I was hoping for. Is it minty enough? I need to see it with it dry. But I'm leaning a little bit towards yes. I still might. I still want to try the other blue. Like, that's looking pretty good though. Okay, we're gonna let that dry, and while that's drying, we'll get the other test color down so they can be drying at the same time. So this time I'm gonna try the Aldari Emerald. I thought about the Aethermatic Blue more, and I think it's too bright. Like, I think it's gonna be too bright of a, Yay! I'm glad that you can actually eat, like, normal food and meals again, and I hopefully taste them, Sarah. I don't know if that was one of the symptoms that you had from your COVID exposure, but, I know that one can really, really suck. Oh! Michael, that's a great call. I had not thought of slingshot ammo as being an alternative for the ball bearings, for putting into paints. That's a great call out. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll keep that in mind. For sure. Because normally I just get the army painter, like, little ball bearing bundle that they have. But yeah, I could see how that could work really, really well. All right, this color, we're gonna need a thin. For sure. Because it's gonna completely overwhelm our other color if we don't. So I'm gonna go like 2 or 3 dabs, I think, of water on my brush, so that basically my consistency is this. Like, it's pretty watery, pretty transparent, but I think that's a good consistency. Let's see what it does over the chest. Okay, I think, actually, the Aldari might be the way to go. That is looking much more mint to me in comparison to the other one. Like, I thought the other one was good, don't get me wrong, but, like, I think that's a better color. Yeah. Because now that I look at it, this one at the top is actually just turning a little bit too, like olive green. Like it's a little too, I think, olive green. Whereas on the bottom, I definitely feel like I'm getting a bit more of that mint color tone. I might thin the Aldari blue a bit more. Let's compare it. You know what? I don't even know if I will. I might try a wash of the Gut Ripper Flesh back over top of it once this is dried. But I'm feeling pretty confident. So I'm going to go ahead and say let's get started on painting our boy. Because we're going to need to let his, like, we will actually let dry fully before we move on to working on him and doing the overlap. Yeah, I think I need to thin the Aldari blue a little bit more. I think it washed out my base coat a bit much, but I think overall this is going to work well. It also could just be that I did not fully let Gut Ripper Flesh dry, and therefore it's, you know, being a little sus. Let's go ahead. I am gonna vortex mix this one real quick, so I apologize if I'm off screen for a moment. Alright. In case any of you are wondering, the cat is still here. He's still hanging out. He's being so good that I have a hard time, like... He's being so good that I'm having a hard time, like, making him leave. Alright. We've got our paint ready to go. I am going to switch to a slightly smaller brush, just because now that we're actually working on our actual model, I don't want to get too much excess paint anywhere. And then the one other thing I realized I can probably should do is get him onto a handle to make this easier. Was feeling pretty well stuck on. Looking good for you guys. And let's... I really do like this color just by itself. Thankfully, because I'm not doing any slap chop or anything on these models, I can just do cleanup if I do get this color places I don't want it, which I suspect will be likely. What is... Okay, that thing on top of his head is not part of his, like, design. It's part of his outfit. I mean, it's part of his design. Sorry, that didn't make sense. It's not part of his, like, skin, is what I meant. So we'll try to keep it clean if we can. Here with a little bit more paint. Yay! Right. I think they're stainless steel, so I don't think rust is an issue. At least the ones that I've been using. But I see your point in regards to maybe if you're buying ammo, it could be problematic. So you just want to make sure something's going to work with the paints like being wet. I'm guessing, I'm not super familiar with this like race in the Star Wars. I'm assuming this pattern on the back is... They never... I hate when game companies do this. I assume this also is part of his flesh, or is like, are these spikes part of his outfit? I'm not actually sure. And I don't want to really paint them all green if they're not part of his flesh. Let me see if I can one, get behind his head real quick. So I don't get some awkward pulling on his head. And I really feel like this is part of his flesh. I'm gonna look up real quick. See if Black Sun Star Wars. I forgot what franchise this was from. Alright, there we go. Okay. Yes, but can you show me them from... I don't... There are literally no pictures of them from behind. Dude, I admit, in the cartoon in Clone Wars, like, I don't think I had seen them much. I think we're getting to them, but I don't think we've actually run into them yet. Dude, they fucking look sick. They look pretty cool. Oh, there's one where you kind of see behind him, but you can't see if... So I'm gonna assume it's part of their flesh. I'm just gonna make that assumption and hope that I'm correct. You know what? Let's see. Let's check chat. And maybe you guys have responded. Okay, thank you. Look up Prince Zior. Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Prince Zior. Oh, that was the cool looking dude, actually, that I was seeing in a lot of the art. Nice. You know what? I think you're right. I think it is meant to be part of his back, so we're gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it green. Alright, let's go. Quickly, so it all blends. I appreciate a species that decides, you know what, our back spines are so cool, let's give ourselves a reverse V-neck. He looked at Maul and we're like, we really like what you're doing with your V-neck top there. We're gonna just do it, but we're gonna wear ours backwards so that our spines can stand out and look really badass. Alright, so then we've got just his hands, I think, left after that, and because we've got this color out and they're from the same species, I am actually going to throw some of the color onto this guy here because his hands are exposed and open from when I'm looking at the art, rather than being gloved. So I do think that will be the one section on him that identifies him as being from the same, like, at least race as this particular alien, let alone faction. Hoping because of all of like his closed fist and all those like cool recesses that we're gonna get some really nice effect when it comes to putting on the shade later after this is dried. I'm gonna bring him a little closer to me for a brief second. I know it takes him out of the screen for you guys, but his hand is kind of like buried, and I want to make sure get it without having to do a lot of really awkward cleanup in the recesses. Oh, and speaking of buried, that. Definitely points when you're painting a model and you're like, man, I wish I had some of this. And then you're like, oh, well, it's just this one section. I guess it's fine. And that's kind of where I'm at with these guys. So he's good. We're going to set him off to the side. Right there. We'll grab another popper and we'll shove him on. You know what? We could probably Dude, I just realized we can actually put the Pike's flesh tone on too, because that is just going to be pure Grit Ripper flesh. Because I think that fits for them really well. Yeah. Actually, so cool. We can get all of their flesh tones started. Look at me batch painting a little bit. I never do that. Alright, let me also make sure that I'm staying on with chat. That's true, you can get some rust, I guess, on stainless steel materials, but I feel like it's a lot rarer, and I've not, at least with the ones that I've been using from the Army Painter, I have not had any problems with the ball bearings, like, actually rusting any of my paints. I've not seen consistency changes or anything like that on any of my paints, thankfully. Which I mean, makes sense, I guess, because you'd hope that the Army Painter, if they were going to... Ow! My cat left and tried to claw me on his way out. Goodbye, Felinius. Run and frolic to your heart's content. Oh, you would think... Sorry, I lost my train of thought on what I was talking about. But you would think that the companies would, you know, pay attention to that and get something that's not going to disintegrate in paint. You would hope, at least. Alright, so this is going to be pretty easy because we just need to paint his hand. Should but not take a moment. I realized after I was working on building up some of the other models yesterday. Oh, I should show you guys which ones I built up, actually. Because I got some more work done off camera on building everybody, because I know that's what we've been working on previously. I think I was talking about the models I just built, saying that I could show you the work I'd done previously, and I don't remember what I was saying before that. Please tell me in the comments. I might use Mortarian Grime on the Pike, specifically, David, because I think that's a great call. It does have a little bit more of that, like, dirtier brown, like, brown-green, and I think that that might work as a wash on the Pike, because I think they're a little softer in color tone. Like, when I paint them, actually, here in a moment, I'm going to go thinner. Like, I've kind of really... I didn't thin this green at all when painting the Black Suns. Mostly because I really want this green to maintain and shine through past some of the blues that go down later. So I'm kind of being heavy with it, right? But when I go on the Pike, I'm going to thin it down so that, yes, I can use a Mortarian wash on it, because I think that will look absolutely lovely. There we go. Oh, I cannot tell you guys how much I'm looking forward to episode 4 of the Bad Batch tomorrow. It's been such a good show. And I've just been anticipating it so much, and I'm really, really hyped for just the fact that we got Cody back, and that leaves potential for, like, other people to show back up, and oh, it's just so good. Alright, I think he's looking pretty good. I think I've hit all the key elements where... Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Okay, now I feel like I've gotten both of his hands. So we'll switch, and I need one more topper. And putty. Where's the opened one? Ah! Here we go. Using a little bit of putty. I am also so looking forward to seeing a live action Thrawn. I mean, really, I'm just excited. I'm just excited that Thrawn in general is like exists because if I'm not mistaken, he's an EU character like entirely up until he appeared in Clone Wars. Was he in Clone Wars or was it Bad Batch? I don't remember where he appeared now. Whatever cartoon he ended up appearing in, I thought he was a purely like EU character up until that point. And it was one of those circumstances where Disney went, yeah, you know, that one, that you know, Chiss guy there, he's pretty cool. Like, people like that race, right? And like, he's a badass, so why not use him? Which I'm thrilled for, because who doesn't want to see Thrawn? Like, it's gonna be awesome. I hope they do, like, I hope his effects look really cool when they do him in Ahsoka. But I am one of those people that, because I am just really, really pleased with what Disney has been doing in regards to their television shows, specifically, when it comes to Star Wars, that I have high expectations for the Ahsoka show, and I really hope that it doesn't suck. Like, good lord, do I hope it doesn't suck. Because I want Ahsoka to, like, continue to be relevant for as long as humanly possible, because I just think she's so cool. Also, it's going to involve the return of, like, all the characters I love from Rebels, is basically what it's looking like, and I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. All right. This is gonna be fun, because, like, we've got lots of really nice, folds and stuff in this Pike character. So I think, like, putting this contrast paint is just gonna be really satisfying. Please enjoy this. I also need to let you know that I have my jacket, like, shoved on top of one of my, toolboxes. It's on my floor off to the side, and my sweet, beautiful boy, Jack, has just decided to lay on it. He's like, this is in a weird position, but I'm gonna lay down on it. It's just adorable, and I need you guys to know. He's looking at me like, Mom, why are you talking about me? Yes, this is exactly the paleness that I was hoping for, because I really want to thinly apply this color down, and then we'll Mortarian grime it, and it's gonna be gorgeous, and it's gonna be perfect for them, and I'm very happy. I love how soft this color is. Like, it's just such a beautiful, subtle green. So good. Okay, his is a crown, not part of his face. Understood. I am gonna go over his eyes a smidge with this color, because I can clean them up. They're large enough that I don't foresee a problem, like, hiding them up, and I want to make sure that the green settles around the eyes, so that his, like, lids or whatever look proper. I think looking pretty even on the back. I'm going to move. Got a little bit heavier there just because of, I want those folds to really stand out. Alright, that looks good. I think we're all the way, like, towards the front. I'm gonna do one more pass. Pull back some of our color a little bit as we do. Get a little bit more on that little pokey bit. And then his front side of his neck, I did not get it all, apparently. Okay, I think his face is good. So let's go ahead and move on to hands, and also oh, okay, apparently his toes are covered Is that? I don't know if you guys can tell. But to me, that doesn't look like there's green in his, like, either of their toes. There's green in any of their toes. No, I think they have shoes, like, fully covered. I didn't realize that. That's kind of cool. And also sort of odd, but whatever. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You want to protect your soft, squishy feet, but I just really was expecting, because they're, like, amphibious, to have open-toed shoes for some reason. Turns out that's a horrible stereotype. Alright, because he's being all contemplative and scheming. Because he's a criminal. Alright, there we go. I almost dropped my phone. If you heard me gasp slightly there just a moment ago, it's because I almost dropped my phone and, like, threw chat onto the floor. Which would not be cool. You guys don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be thrown onto the floor. Although, who knows? Maybe some of you want that. Oh my god, I'm really pleased with just how gorgeous this color is. He's feeling pretty good. We don't need to worry. Oh, wait. I saw that there was, like, this part of his arm, I think, is exposed. Because who needs to protect your elbows? No one. No one needs elbow protection. Put elbow protection on if you're roller skating or doing something where you could fall and injure your elbows. I demand it. It's been your PSA. Wear elbow protection and knee protection. Alright, there we go. You think the Bad Batch are going to end up leading the Clone Rebellion? Also, hello, Shy Time, as well as James, as well as Go For a Painting. Welcome all of you to the stream. It's lovely to have you all here. And to get back to Michael's comment about the Bad Batch leading the Clone Rebellion, I mean, I could see that being a thing. I don't really know if the clones really lead a rebellion, though, right? Like, or is that something that happened in the EU? And maybe you think they might be bringing it in. But, like, I feel like they're definitely, I mean, I definitely think they're going to aid in the rebellion. Like the Bad Batch, that is. Like, I think in this season we are definitely setting up for them to, like, meet Organa and, oh my god. I just realized that if they do meet Senator Organa, then in theory they could potentially meet, Leia, which would be interesting. Like, it'd be young Leia, obviously. But, oh my god. You know what? Something I didn't think of, but it now occurs to me that they absolutely could do, and I'm both terrified and thrilled at the idea of it. Cody just pieced out from the Empire. Like, he went AWOL. What if... I mean, I don't think they'd do this. Wouldn't it be amazing if he ran into Obi-Wan? They got to say a heartfelt goodbye or something? Like... oh my god, I would love that. My, like, nerd heart would explode. I think that, like, I'd cry because I know that, like, this would be the last time they'd see each other and be sad. But I'd also be relieved because then I would also get to know that the last time that they saw each other, like, Cody doesn't know Obi-Wan's alive. Like, I'm pretty sure Cody at this point, like, in the story, is definitely under the impression that both Anakin and Obi-Wan are dead and died in Order 66, right? Because, like, I don't think the clones knew Vader was Anakin. Or maybe they would have, like, said something a little bit more, maybe risen up or questioned it or something. I don't really know, but I feel like something would have happened there. So, like, what if Cody cried because he found out that Obi-Wan was still alive? Like, that would be, ugh, I would be so happy. Just the fangirl in me delights at that. You have back spines, sir, that we need to paint. It occurred to me that he might have back spines, like his leader dude, because that would seem silly that only the leaders would have back spines. So let's go ahead and paint these up as well. Gives me an excuse to keep using this color, which I really adore. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. Alright, we've got back spines taken care of. On both of our Black Suns characters, we have the head and arms and leg, or not arms and hands of our other boy taken care of. We're going to set both of them to dry. He's been drying the longest. So, it's now officially time to first and foremost, I'm going to try that sentence again. It is now time for us to first and foremost close our Gut Ripper flesh so that I don't knock it over like I did my black paint while I was painting Darth Maul. Then we are going to go ahead and pull out Eldari Emerald. I still have some on my palette. You know what? We're going to keep using that. And we're just going to water it down even further. I really want this to be thin. Like, super transparent. Okay. I'm going to start not on his face, because if I hate the way this looks, I can pull it off the other areas and maybe retouch up and not have to worry about building up too much paint on his face. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on his hands. And we're going to very lightly apply this. Yes. Okay, I just need to keep this really, really thin, because the blue is somewhat overwhelming, but this is giving me more the actual mint color tone that I was wanting. So in case it's hard for you guys to tell right now because of, like, the coloring or lighting or anything, I basically have almost no moisture, like excess moisture on my brush, despite how wet I am making this paint right now. Like, I'm trying to basically let it stain with color and then apply that stain to the model to get as light of a covering as possible, so I get a really nice mint color tone. A little awkward. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Like, that, I think, is hitting the color that I want. So let's switch over, and I want to do his face real quick while I've got color still. Let's go. You guys can see mine. That's looking great. Very happy. Very, very. Hit his spine real quick. All right. I'm feeling pretty confident about that. Like, his head looks great. It is the proper minty color tone that I was wanting. I think this is looking good. Yeah. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Let's just set him off to the side, let him fully dry. I'm gonna do a quick inspection. Make sure I didn't miss anything. That's looking pretty darn good. I like it. Let's go ahead and get yours done. Well, we still have, again, some of this really pale color tone. You're less of a problem. Your back is still wet. Let's not do your back yet. Let's actually just wait on you. I don't want to... So my concern is, and the reason I'm being a little particular about putting fresh paint on my palette and having to add more water to it. Even though I think I can get it back pretty even, one of the big things that I at least try to do when I'm painting is I try to make sure that if I'm working on a single model, that I am not having to redo a color in between. You guys probably do this yourself to some degree as well, because I feel like it's something that's fairly common. But I find that if I end up having to remix paints, whether they be contrast, base colors, whatever, mid-painting on even just one single figure, that I end up, like, screwing myself and getting inconsistent colors, which is why I was being so particular there. But I'm really happy with how he went, so I'm gonna let him, like, this guy finish drying. While we're actually doing that, I think our pike friend was probably dry. Oh, I just realized I missed a section of his arm horrifically, so let me just tear that, you know. I think I fixed my mistake now. Got a little bit of green paint places where maybe they don't need to be, but we can do a cleanup afterwards. It's actually a good time while we're letting on these things dry. I'm going to take a very brief break here in just a second, but I'm going to look at chat before I leave because I know that I have not in just a moment. Hello, Supersonic! Welcome to the stream. I am doing very, very well today. Thank you so much for asking. I hope that you are doing well as well. Let's see. We also had... Oh no, David, you're gonna have you may have a very extra busy workday tomorrow. Well, I am so sorry to hear that you're gonna have a busy day tomorrow, but I hope that you get plenty of rest tonight and have a lovely rest of your evening. Good night. Thank you for coming to the stream. It's always lovely having you here, so thank you very, very, very much. Oh yeah, no, Sarah, I can completely agree. Well, I mean, I guess I technically still work because this is my job. But it's very weird to me that this is my job. And it still throws me off because I spent years and years and years like working retail and just doing pretty, I would say, like standard run-of-the-mill jobs and such before doing content creation and YouTube and all that. And not doing that stuff now still sometimes throws me off because I fall back into like old work habits. It's very funny. So I have not seen the new Ventress Black Series figure for oh no, you said for Legion. No, I've not seen the new Ventress for Legion. Do they have a new Ventress coming out? That's hecka exciting, and I will absolutely have to get her because she's just drenched in purple. And I also adore Ventress. So I have not watched any more Clone Wars since the last time that I had talked to you guys and we had watched them. But we are still in the section that is involving Savage and Ventress and Dooku. And I really those characters so much. Like Dooku especially is one of those characters, which I have one of his figures. I actually am considering painting him on the channel just as something to paint because I feel like he's very relevant right now. But I think those characters are so cool, and I love the focus he's getting right now, like him and Ahsoka both. Okay, I am going to briefly take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna go grab myself a little bit of a drink real quick, use the restroom, all that stuff. I'll be back with you guys in just a moment, and I'll be right back. Michael, no, she's coming out with an Ahsoka model? Oh, I'm so hyped for that. Oh my god. Okay, I had not seen that yet, actually. I'll have to look that up after the stream and everything. Hello, also welcome. I am back. I have gotten my soda and done all the things that I needed to. I know it's a very brief one, but you know what? Sometimes it doesn't take too long, so let's go ahead and jump back into painting. I am hoping that this guy is actually now dry enough. Since I took a little bit of time, we'll go ahead and let him dry a little bit longer while I reaccumulate some paint and get it thinned down properly. Because I really, 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 really want this thin. Alright, yeah, that is feeling proper, thin, and watery. Let's go ahead and keep painting. I'm so excited. I really am very much going to be looking up what the Ahsoka and Ventress model look like. Two of my favorite girls in one set together. That's gonna be great. Interesting, actually, that they're coming in a set together. Who are they? Are they just like... Is it young Ahsoka, or is it older Ahsoka who Ventress is coming with? Like, now I'm very curious. Yeah, this ended up with a really nice minty color tone. I'm very happy. Turned out lovely. Also, Ben, do not worry about being late. No problem whatsoever. I'm so glad that you were able to make it regardless. Like, it's wonderful to have you show up. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and keep painting. I'm glad I did that testing. Make sure that this was gonna work, because I really thought the Poxwalker flesh, or the Poxwalker shade, was gonna be the one to go with. Because I really thought the Aldari blue was gonna be too much, but it's actually perfect. Although that might be a little too much. Just go ahead and pull some of that excess color away. A little over enthusiastic there. You still want it to look somewhat green. Really do like that color. I feel like now I need to do... I don't want to just keep saying that I need to add these color tones into my orcs, even though I really could, because that would just make way more work for me, personally, as I'm painting them, because I would have to constantly be switching paints, right? And that's sort of the antithesis. This paint pot was sitting on my read first document that I got in the Legion box, which was over top of one of my larger brushes, so it had a wider handle, and it was sideways, but it was open. And I just looked over, it was like, oh god, that's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm glad I caught that, good lord. But yeah, I'm glad I did my testing, so that I actually know that this looks really good. I'm happy with how this turned out. Alright, we can move on from him. Actually, come back to this guy, because we got some more carrying grime to put on him. I wanna make him have a little bit of a brown undertone, or I guess overtone in this case, because it's going on top. Is this? Oh, this is the wrong color. Just kidding. Mortarian grime. I was shaking that going, I'm not hearing one of my ball bearings actually in there, and I definitely know I've opened Mortarian grime and it should have one, so glad I checked, because I would have applied blindly the wrong paint. Hopefully I would have noticed the color difference on my brush, but who knows. Alright, we're gonna test this from the back, because in case we hate it, we can maybe fix some of it. Nope, that's exactly what I wanted. Cool. We're just gonna go hog wild. I did not thin this whatsoever. Because it's a shade, I find that they tend to already be, they have a transparency enough, and if I do it more, it just takes a lot more paint to eventually get the color that I'm looking for, so I'm just going to glaze this over top. Oh my god, I really like the look. There we go. I misplaced where I actually put my excess color, and I almost dipped it into the wrong color tone. But no, this is working perfectly. Really like how he came out. I honestly, I will admit, as excited as I am to paint some of the Mandalorians and such that came with Darth Maul in this set, I actually think that the Pike are weirdly one of the things that I'm most excited to paint. I just, for some reason, I really like their look. The color palette super works for me, and I don't know, they excite me. Which is weird, because I never really thought I'd be that super into fish people. But I really like their design. They're just fun. I like the lankiness of them. I think it's because, in I almost said Star Wars. This is Star Wars. In, 40K, I don't feel like I get these sort of, long-limbed models as much. I guess kind of I do, because he's just got, I guess, Imperial Guard proportions, if I'm honest. But still, I don't know, there's something about him. We don't get as many fun aliens. Yeah. I really like that. Alright, we're gonna let him dry. And I think our big guy is probably done enough. Let me check and see. Do I need to do So I think I'm going to paint his robes next, although I do want to check and see... Is it black? Okay. So it looks like his... Let me use the tip of this brush, which I've not used yet, and we'll talk through what I'm thinking color-wise, okay? And I should remember that I don't have chat for some reason on... No, it's fine. And I need to keep this open. All right. Yeah, no, I think the pike aesthetic is really nice as well. I like that a lot. Yep. All right. Let's see. Hello, Nell. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. And so what I am thinking, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this decorative piece here on the chest, which is going to be black. And then we're going to probably do this in Basilicanum Gray, because according to what I'm seeing for the reference art, it looks like it's metallic or something like that, but it looks like it's a grayer tone than what this is. So we're going to do this in, I think, Black Templar. This will be Basilicanum Gray. This collar piece, the trim that surrounds this part, that's going to be Basilicanum Gray, and this headpiece will all end up being gold, which I'm going to do... You know, actually, let me think about that real quick. Do they... So I think the trim is actually just supposed to be yellow. And I think the head ornamentation and some of the decorations, like these beads, for example, might need to be gold. So what I'm thinking of doing, and if I can get it to look slightly different, is I'm going to go with Bad Moon yellow on the collar. And like basically all the cloth trim that needs to be yellow, I'm going to do in Bad Moon yellow, because I think it's a little bit more canary. It reads a little bit more like just a fabric yellow color tone to me. A gold, like metallic yellow tone. And then for the gold stuff, I'm going to go with my classic tried and true color palette, which is using Nazdrag, or not Nazdrag, sorry, Iron Jaws yellow. And like, which I think I have right here. So Iron Jaws yellow, and then I'm going to do probably, he's gonna have a lot of yellow and purple on him, so I do think using a Reikland's Flesh Shade wash to give it a little bit of a reddish undertone is gonna be great. Hello, Waver Fangirl, welcome to the stream. Welcome. The heck is this? Oh no! Oh, I guess I'm gonna need to replace this brush. Look, you guys. I just saw this, and I realized that I believe it is the paint, like the coating, on this Citadel brush just popped right off. So that's embarrassing. And I will need to go buy a new one. To be fair, I've had some of these brushes for like a couple years, and the fact that the bristles are still fine, it's just the handle is starting to fail, and that's the first thing that's gone. It's kind of funny to me. That means I guess I've taken a really good care of the bristles and not well of the handle, I guess. Oops. All right. Oh, very cool. I've never... So when you say you've done painting for technical theater, are you talking about like what part of that specifically are you painting for? Because I was never a theater kid, so I'm not super familiar with like what that specifically means. Like, are you talking like you're painting like the backdrops and like the decorative parts that are like part of the scenery for stage? Or are you painting something else? Like, I would love more information about that, because that sounds fascinating to me. You know, Sarah, you're right. The Nids do have nice long limbs. I have just always been so turned off by is it the Leviathan color scheme that they always use on all the box art? Like, whatever that white and purple color palette is, I want to say it's Leviathan, but I might be wrong. Or Kraken. Is it Kraken? Now I don't remember. Whichever color scheme that uses, or whichever, I now am blanking completely on what Nids like collectively, or Horde, no, Hive. Whatever Hive uses purple and white. I have never enjoyed for some reason, the way that they look on GW's box art, like, I don't know what it is about it. I've seen other people's pictures of that same exact color scheme and it looks fine to me, but for some reason there's something about the way that like either GW color corrects them or just like they are approaching them or something that it's always turned me off of ever getting more into NIDs, which you would think that like as somebody who really likes horde armies that NIDs would be right up my alley. But like they just I've only painted a few of them, had a blast with it, but I just don't like that color scheme, so it's held me back from ever wanting to pick up any of those boxes. And it's such a shame. Like, I wish they would update it or something so that I'd be more encouraged to spend money. I don't know why I want more encouragement to spend more money when I have plenty of hobbies that cost me money, but whatever. Okay, cool. So yes, you do paint the set pieces. That is awesome. I would love to know, what is your favorite like theatrical production to have produced and painted the set pieces for? Because I could imagine, like, I think for me personally, not knowing anything, like not really like knowing that many stage plays or anything like that, but anything that had a lot of like really bold, bright, beautiful colors would be totally something I'd be interested in, because it's me. I really, really, really like bold, bright colors, if you can't tell. Speaking of bold, bright colors, I'm gonna bust out some, what is this called? Luxian Purple, one of those new 2.0 contrast colors, which is just such a good purple color tone. I used this when I painted my Slanesh Keeper of Secrets. And it was such a beautiful color tone, and I think it's gonna be perfect here, because what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna put this down, and then we're going to actually water down one of our shades, because we're going to use, I don't remember the shade number. Druchii Violet. Druchii Violet, I remember what it was. Ha 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 ha. We're gonna thin down some Druchii Violet, and we're going to actually apply that over top to get us a little bit of a deeper royal purple into our recesses, but this way we have a little bit of a brighter, more vivid purple on the just overall color palette. And it's gonna look amazing. Let's get painting. Or continue painting. So we've been painting. It's just been, as per usual with me, relatively slow. We're not going to thin this too much, and I'm also going to prefer to be a smart person and actually get this boy onto here. So, I need a bigger brush, because we're working on a larger surface area. And I need this to be as even as possible. So, let's get a fair amount of paint down. We're going to grab a little bit of water, thin it. Grab a little bit more paint, because I thinned it too much. There we go. Okay. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Oh my god, that's such a good color. Yeah, and I think the Druchii Violet over top of this is going to be perfect. I'm going to try to go fast, so I apologize if I get a little quiet. But I want to really make sure that we get an even coating of this. Like, I don't want it to be too splotchy or anything. I don't want there to be too much pooling excessively, if I can help it. Be a little careful around his hands. You guys can see everything. I was like really worried that I had pulled completely off camera. pull some of this away, but we don't get quite as large of shadows here, because part of my goal is to let the Druchii Violet do a lot of that work for me if I so kind of keep this as even, and I don't mind a little bit of pooling, just don't want an excessive amount. That is looking pretty slick. And I'm kind of afraid to go to the other side. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna focus on this. What is High Fleet Behemoth color scheme? Is that the red, yeah, blue one? Whatever one is red and blue, I have seen that one before, and I really, really like the look of that one. But I've also seen a lot of different High Fleet like color schemes that I've enjoyed, so it's really just the main box art one that I don't. Great. Oh, genuinely perfect. So happy. Gentle around the hands. Gentle around. I get too much purple. Any. Just. Awkward white patch on it. That would be strange. All right, and we are going to now. Oop. No, we are. Gonna pull a little bit of pooling. A bit of this. It's supposed to be purple, and I'll adjust that with a finer brush here in a second. Okay, I'm really happy with how that's looking. I'm gonna set him off to the side and just let him dry. Because sometimes I get really, really nervous when I'm doing fabric. Secret. I'm gonna pass along a little secret to you guys, actually. Okay, it is the blue and red one. Sick. I love that one. That is the High Fleet color tone that, like, if I did NIDS, that's what I'd paint it as, and if they actually did that color tone on the box art, I'd be so much more into buying those models and collecting that army, because it would inspire me so much more. Okay, so secret when it comes. Oh, hold on. I am adjusting. I'm doing some slight correction. I think that will be touched up slightly also when the we put our wash over top. I think pretty happy with how that's coming out. That's looking good. It's pretty much dried, so I'm not gonna fuck with it too much. Spread that out. Alright. Okay, I am very happy with that. I definitely think it needs the wash. I may not even thin the wash now. The Luxian purple is... And I'm not upset by this. It's just been a little while since I've used it, so it's actually drying a little bit paler than I remember previously, and it's possibly because of how much I watered it down. But, yeah, I think that's what's going on. I'm gonna switch us over to full screen. Oh, never mind, I'm not. I'm gonna keep us here, because I don't know what was going on there. I was super, super up close. Alright. I'm really pleased with this. Like, it's gonna take it a little bit to dry near the bottom there, and I don't mind that we're getting a little bit of cooling, because like I said, I'm going to end up coming back in with that wash and doing some, I think, really good work. But I am very, very happy with that. Thank you. Red Red Incal. Hopefully I said your name correctly. I'm just gonna call you Red going forward. Hello. How are you? I hope you are having a lovely day. Let me know what projects you might be working on. And that goes for everybody in chat. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but I actually did not call out for people to tell me what projects they were working on, and I'd love to know. And you know what? We're going to even go further and say that everybody that's watching this on YouTube after it's no longer a live stream, at this point, if you've gotten this far into the live stream, one, awesome, thank you. Love that you're watching that much of the content. But two, tell me what you're working on. Be like, hey, I listened up to this point and I've got you, Angela. I'll leave that comment for you because I appreciate you. It helps the channel, and I really like when you guys do it. And I try to read through like everybody's comments, even if I'm not able to like respond to them, but I do try to get through all of my messages, all my comments, and all that stuff. So I really appreciate you guys doing that for me. Excellent. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for saying that is looking very good. I really like how he's turning out as well. I think it's coming along really nicely. I really am very happy with how minty the flesh tone ended up being. Oh, speaking of which, actually, while he's drying, I did actually think of something I could test. I wanted to see what putting a little bit more of thinned gut ripper flesh over top what I'd already done with the Eldari blue, or green, or whatever, emerald, Eldari emerald, my apologies. Oh, how could I have forgotten such a easy to remember name? And see what this actually looked like, because I'm tempted because I want a little, like a smidge more yellow. Like, I kind of want a smidge more yellow. But we'll see what this looks like. I'm going to get just a small amount onto this brush, get it on my palette, water it down really a lot, because again, I really want this almost as a glaze. So we have our test model here. I'm going to focus on the grenades on his chest. I'm going to just paint the entire thing because I feel like it's not otherwise showing a difference in it, which might just mean that this is useless and I can't really do anything with it, which I kind of am expecting the more that I do this. So I kind of want to see what it does over top the other one. I really do like this color tone. I need to find something to do it with. Maybe lizard men. Some nice lizard men would look good with that. Well, I really like doing lizard men in like teals specifically. Okay, we kind of glaze that on, and I'm gonna let it dry and see what that does. I don't think it's gonna do anything. I think the gut ripper flesh is officially too pale to go over top without like. I think it's gonna make it look too dirty. Yeah, I really think it's gonna make it look too dirty, which is not a terrible thing. Like it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm still very happy with the mint color I've gotten on his face. I was just maybe wanting to see if I could pull out a little bit more of that yellow undertone, but I don't think it's worth risking. If anything, at this point, I want to push more specifically some of the blues into the recesses further to then make the rest of the skin pop in regards to being a little bit more yellow. You're working on your Black Falcon army? That is awesome. Oh my god. I have slowed down a little bit in regards to building for Lego because I'm trying to make the massive pile that I got as part of basically the holidays for myself. Or well, it wasn't for myself. I got a bunch of gift cards basically. Spent it all on Lego. And that all arrived. You guys actually saw it last time. You guys saw my epic joy of when I got my Legos my Legos arrived. And we opened 4 boxes of Lego. So that was all for Christmas. And I have only built, I think between Chaos Cultist and I want to say that we have built like 4 of the sets. He built the TIE Fighter, one of the TIE Fighters. We got 2 specifically because I was like, nope, I want to build one, and I want you to be able to build one, and I want us to be able to do it fully, like each step ourselves, because I really like how fun building some of the Star Wars ships are. So we got that. So he's built one of them. We've then he built one of the Blacktron. I have one of the Blacktron that I'm going to be building, and then I think we're saving the other ones for either a mock, because I assume eventually somebody's going to create a mock that requires multiple Blacktrons in order to make a larger one that sort of is onto the same scale as the Space Explorer ship, because the Blacktrons are all the villains. For those of you that are not familiar with Lego and have no idea what I'm talking about, the like Blacktron characters are the villains to the like Space Explorer characters from the old Space series for Lego. And they just re-released the Blacktron, or a updated version of a Blacktron set, as a gift with purchase, which is how I got so many of them. Because I made a lot of purchases and made sure to get a number of Blacktrons. So like, we've done that. We've also built, we built the city, from Lego City. We got the streaming truck. I don't remember like what the official name was or anything of it, but essentially it was a esports truck. So it had a truck with a trailer. In the trailer, you had 2 seats that fold out that your figures can sit on. Thankfully, it uses minifigs because it's Lego City. And there was a lot of really cool, like, again, I am one of those people that I don't hate the stickers in Lego sets. So this one had a lot of really cool stickers in my opinion, because you got to put stickers on the truck itself and the computers that you were building for the gamers, to represent their characters and everything. And there's like a little health bar gauge that you can move, which is really cute. And you can have the figures slide back and forth behind the characters as they're gaming on their little chairs and everything with their laptop, or not laptops, but their PCs and everything. Like it's a really cute little build. So I built that, and that was really fun. Later, actually, after this, I'm gonna be building up something that Chaos Cultist got me specifically for me, which was really sweet of him because it was a surprise and he didn't tell me this one was coming. But he picked me up one of the gift with purchase sets that we had missed before we had really gone into Lego this year, and it had come out that year. So it was the one that is of the forest hideaway, or the castle set. And like, I don't know if you guys know or familiar with the castle set, but I think it's so charming. Like, I love the pieces from that, and I'm really sad that it's not like a hyper supported line right now. However, he managed to find this for me on Bricklink, which I didn't realize actually was owned by the Lego company, but it is, which makes sense. It explains why it's such a reliable source for getting like out of print Lego and everything. It's because it's really, I get the impression it is just like self-policed, but also policed by Lego to make sure that people are not doing like shady deals or selling fake Lego through it, because obviously it's owned by them. But he on there, he found me that woodland hideaway, and I was just, oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna be working on that later. Are you guys dry enough for me to do things? First of all, what did this end up doing? It kind of did nothing. Like, look, it did like, I feel like it did pretty much nothing in regards to changing that color. So it's good to know that it's pretty much useless. He is in no way dry, but I really like how this is, like, he's drying, but it's not fully dry. I do, like, this side got a lot more color. I think I thinned this one maybe a little bit more, but again, I don't think that's going to be an issue because I think my shade is going to ultimately end up filling in. It does look very dramatically different on the camera though. It also looks way paler than it actually is. It's a much more pretty purple color tone than I feel like is coming through on the camera. Looking a little more blue there than it is. But I really am pleased with how he's coming along. So that is looking good. I actually didn't look to see... It looks like their actual uniforms, if we're looking at this correctly, is more of just a gray and yellow. Interesting. Okay, cool. I can work with that. I'm thinking... Let's go ahead and pull out some Basilicanum Gray then. I got that right here. Yeah. Take this up. And what I'm thinking is we'll go ahead and get his uniform worked on as well. Hello, Ryu Mav. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rob, let's see, you said, I have not actually seen that. Although, Michael was telling me in chat earlier that there's a new Ventress and Ahsoka model coming out. So I must have missed Atomic Mass's update announcing some new things. I need to look into it because I definitely think Ewoks could be, I don't know, we've not seen Ewoks before in the game yet, right? As far as I can tell, I don't remember them being a release from before the Clone Wars core box came out. That should be fun. I honestly, I'm really happy with the emphasis on certain eras of Star Wars coming back into the spotlight. I love the focus on the Clone Wars. I love also the focus that we're getting right now in the current cartoons where it's all about, or in also the movies, or not the movies, the TV shows, the live action TV shows, where a lot of them are being set in the in-between period of Order 66 happening and episode 4 occurring. Which again, it just constantly makes me think that Disney might be heading towards redoing all of the movies. Which I have talked a number of times about. I am totally fine with that happening because I think there's a lot of things that they could correct, streamline, and honestly actually acknowledge that it's now happened in a lot of the cartoons as well as the live action TV shows, and it would just make those movies even better than they were. So I'm hopeful that we'll get some remakes down the line. I think this will be years and years from now, but I think we're slowly, in the same way that Marvel exploded and really got way bigger than I ever anticipated. So I have to tell you guys a brief story. While we get this going. So I was in college when Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie came out. I was in art college going to school to learn to study and make comic books. So my entire department, basically, when that movie came out, all went down to the theater, and I am not kidding. And it wasn't just my department, it was the animation students, a lot of the game design, and basically any digital media, whether it's film, television, animation, or game development, or web development. Basically, all of those departments plus the sequential department, which is what we call the comic book major at the school, all went down to the movie theaters, because there were two or three of them, varying distances from where the campus was, and we all went down there to watch this movie. Okay, midnight showing, the Thursday release before the official release, midnight showing, all of that. It was insane. We were so excited because the potential that all of us comic book nerds were sitting there going, oh my god, do you think this means that we're going to do this and this and this and this and this? And to actually see Marvel actually get there, I never thought we would get a movie focused on Doctor Strange. I never thought we'd get a movie focused on Ant-Man. I really didn't expect there to be much beyond, I really was worried the more and more that came out up until a point that it was just going to suddenly fall flat on its face and we were going to stop getting all this really cool focus on something that I thought was really neat, right? Like comic books. I mean, the hell, that was what I was going to school for. So I was loving the attention that my industry that I was looking to go into was getting because of this other medium. So to see Marvel have gone where it's gone in like slow build up into these like crazy plots that I never thought that they would see, or introducing characters that I never thought we would get in movies like the Eternals or something like that, like, is just really cool. And I'm hoping, I guess, it's really more so that I'm hoping that Star Wars gets or is getting a similar slow build treatment to revitalizing and just bringing in a whole new genre or like era of fans, because I just think that's really cool, and two, I want more content. Like I like, as much as I wish that companies would freaking experiment and try doing something new every now and then, I do appreciate the just like awesomeness that is where Star Wars is going right now. I realize I need to take him off of this. Probably close to being dried fully. But before we move on to him, I do want to go ahead and actually... Never mind. We aren't going to paint him yet because I just realized that I got some staining and he needs some cleanup. So we are actually going to pop back over to him. We're not going to put the gray on, even though I just got a little bit of that out onto my brush paint. But what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to one of my smaller brushes, and I'm going to get the inner part because I realized I didn't actually paint that and I wanted to paint that in black. I just was really excited to actually paint with colors. I'm looking for Black Legion, or Black Templar. Here we go. Off to the side. I'm not so, Michael, is Kobe Bricks one of the alternate brick companies? Because I think I've heard of two specifically that I think do, like military, like, brick builds and everything, and I thought Kobe was one of them. I could be wrong, so please do correct me if I am inaccurate with that. But I like the idea of that. That's cool. Is it, like... the F-18 from Top Gun. That's really awesome. All right, we've got some Black Templar onto our palette. We're not really going to worry about thinning this too much because it's a relatively transparent-y black to begin with. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this very delicately. Mostly so I don't get black paint on this. Do need more brush though to get into that crevasse. Love this cornea brush. What we can do. Oh no. Okay, fixed it. Got a little bit of black paint on his chin. Exactly what I was trying to avoid. Alright, but we need to... This is going to be kind of probably an awkward angle, and if I'm slightly slide myself off screen, don't worry, I'll be right back. I'm just dealing with some focus. I missed a little bit of his flesh tone there, but I'll fix that. I can't really tell. Hold on. We're gonna completely be awkward about this. Alright, I think what I've got, I think I've gotten all of the details in there. And I can't tell if this like shirt wraps, or I don't think it does. It just kind of like tucks into the shoulder piece. So hopefully that looks all right. Again, when I touch up some of that green that I think I missed right. Basically, I don't know if you guys could see it, but like right there, it's kind of, you can kind of see it. It's right there. I just missed a little bit of green there, so I'll need to touch that up. It's super hidden though, so I don't think it's going to be too noticeable, even if it does do a little bit of a seam line because I had to layer the paint on. But at this point, I need to do a cleanup stage on him. And we've got like 15 minutes left, so that'll probably be the last thing that we really work on. But I have a couple things that need cleanup, so we're gonna bring out some of our white paint. I should probably shake it first. That'd be a little smarter than just putting it onto my palette completely unshook. See, I think I've worked with Brick Mania. No, it's Battle Bricks. Is that what they were called? I think that their name was Battle Brick. So I've worked with Battle Brick because they did some well, they had a variety of different eras of tanks from various wars. But they specifically had was it the Sherman? No, the Panzer. I built the Panzer. Because it was the German one. So I built a Panzer from say it was Battle Brick. But I've heard a lot of people mention Kobe, and I did not realize that. So Kobe's not Lego, but you said that Brick Mania is, as well as Brick Veteran. Okay, I've not heard of those two. I'm gonna have to look into them because one of my like long-term goals for my Lego city is to actually kind of do what I saw Brixie doing recently, but instead of it being like a rich person's like garage for their cars, which I do still like the idea of, I wanted to do like a museum with a floor plan that basically had a bunch of tanks. Like I want to do a military museum because I have a variety of tanks at this point, and that are made of well, one of them is made of genuine Lego pieces, the other one is not, but I just think it'd be cool to have them in there. So I think that's something I'm going to definitely be doing, but I'd love to get more, so I'm going to look into these other two companies and see what they are. I love how, like, much you guys are, like, looking into military Legos, by the way. Like, that makes me super happy, because I think they're really cool. And I know they're not actually official Lego. Like, I like how you're looking into military brick builds. How about that? I'm gonna delicately clean this up a little bit. Get rid of that purple, because that will look awkward with, you know, yellow going over top of it. I really appreciate that these Legion models have very, like, defined edges when it comes to some of the more angular pieces, like the more geometric shapes. Like, they are very definitive edges, so it makes cleaning up mess-ups easy and having them still look stunning. That's looking pretty good. I do want to get this side, but I think the angle might be too difficult for me. Well, actually, How does this look? Oh, you know what? I realized, hold on. We shouldn't be doing this yet. And I can't believe none of you stopped me. How dare you? How dare you? I spent so long talking about how I wanted to put a shade on this purple, and none of you stopped me. Not a single one of you were like, Angela, wait. This is a foolish task. You're going to put more color on there and just have to clean up again. All right, let me find my Druchii Violet. Literally picked up the first one. Haha. I have my paints so well organized. All right. Shake this up. And we'll go ahead and get our big brush. We will apply some water to our brush, and we're just gonna get some out of the lid because I don't want this to go too insane. Yes. Alright, that is doing exactly what I hoped. Keeping it a little bit. Going to brush, going into a bigger section. Oh, yes, I'm really liking the way that's looking. Get it on the sleeve. Kind of delicate near green. You want this to be heavy into those gold. That's looking great. Now let's see if we can keep it even on the other side. I'm gonna go kind of heavy because this side did not get any previously, right? Like, so let's go a little heavier on this side. Looking pretty awesome, if I do say so already. I'm really happy with this. A little bit. Why? But yeah, that is turned it into a little bit more of the royally purple color that I was hoping for, without me having to pull out what's it called? Shyish purple, which gets a little, I think, sometimes too dark. What I am gonna do is, this is a little trick. I sometimes hold the miniatures upside down to let that purple pool into the other, like, recesses. And then as it dries, it can go back in that way. Because, like, you see now, I've got much better pooling right there on the sleeves. It's slowly, like, going away, but this kind of helps. I don't know, I just find you get slightly more organic and natural looking folds this way. So I'm gonna let him sit normally now. Some of that paint might drain away, in which case I might just do another layer of Druchii Violet. Thankfully, and I forget this literally every time, like even on days, like even today, I've already used some of GW's shades and I like kind of forgot how just efficient they are. But I might do another like, whoa. So glad I noticed that. That's a little bit too much pooling. That's some ugly pooling. Let's just clean that. fine, although that's lovely. Oh. Okay. A little darker than all at once. Like, I want it to build up to that. I don't want it to become that immediately. Although I don't really mind it, I guess, so much on the bottom because it'll just be, you know, it'll look a little dirtier or whatever. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Hello, Hasbin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is in fact that time again. Although we are almost going to be calling it soon. So I do apologize for that. I also agree with you, Michael. Compared to Warhammer, Lego is significantly cheaper. It's actually one of the reasons that I've been gravitating towards it a little bit so much right now is because, one, it is cheaper on my wallet. Two, I'm not super thrilled with where 9th edition is right now in regards to Warhammer as a game. And so it's made me less enthusiastic to want to like paint or even collect the models right now because I'm just not enjoying what they're doing rules-wise as much at the moment. However, I'm hoping that will kind of change and revitalize with 10th. Who knows? But I do think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I wanted to appreciate you guys for coming out and watching me work on these a little bit. I'm actually very happy with how much I ended up getting done. Good lord, this one section just keeps pulling really crazily. So very happy with that. I'm going to keep an eye on this as he continues to drive so that we don't get too much, like I said, awkward pooling or anything, but I am going to go ahead and head out, and I hope you guys have had a wonderful time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for being here and keeping me company and everything. And then for those of you that are watching on YouTube, again, thank you guys for watching this after it's already done. Especially if you got to the very, very end. Like I said, let me know what projects you're working on down in the comments, whether it be miniatures or Lego or something completely different. Just tell me about it. I love seeing what you guys are working on or hearing about what you guys are working on. And yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Let's see. Just as a heads up for content, we of course have a new podcast coming out on Thursday. We will be going over episode 4 of The Bad Batch. That will be by Chaos Cultist and I. I can't wait to watch episode 4 tomorrow. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. And then we'll be recording. For Friday, we have a reaction video coming because we found something that I have never seen before. And I'm actually very hyped for this. Some of you guys may have seen it. I'm not going to give you too many spoilers because I don't want to like ruin everything, but like we're going to be watching something fun.
Full motion video, 1990s Warhammer 40K.
It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I've seen like 10 seconds worth of it so far and went, yep, that's definitely something that I can react to and it's going to be glorious. So be looking forward to that on Friday. And then of course on Saturday, we will be back here live streaming once again, but we'll probably be playing some more Star Wars Lego, the Skywalker Saga, because we finished episode 4 last week and we need to move on to episode 5. Because obviously we need to go to some Winter Wonderland and cut open a Tauntaun and shove Luke inside of it so that he doesn't freeze to death. That's our plan. I hope you guys are looking forward to it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!